What if I tell you that the universe has already hidden within your path a secret map, not drawn on parchment or carved in stone, but written in the unseen language of vibration carried through the eternal rhythm of numbers? These numbers are not cold symbols meant only for calculation. They are living forces, breathing energies that have flowed since the dawn of time. Each one holds a frequency, a pulse, a whisper that speaks to the attentive soul. They appear when you least expect them, on clocks, on pages, in moments of silence, like gentle reminders that destiny is not a mystery but a pattern waiting to be remembered. For the awakened heart, nothing is random, not a leaf that falls, not a breeze that shifts direction, not even the simplest repetition of digits before your eyes. Buddhism teaches us that all things arise from cause and condition, and within that truth lies the essence of numerology. What we call coincidence is in fact the universe aligning its voice with our awareness, and in that awareness lies the key to abundance, peace, and clarity. The mystics of ages past knew this well. Nostradamus, in his cryptic verses, hinted that cycles of fortune are woven into signs so subtle that only the watchful will notice them. Baba Vanga, whose visions reached far beyond her sightless eyes, spoke often of numbers that carried the very fingerprints of fate, reminders that the divine speaks not in grand proclamations, but in gentle repeating patterns. And in the timeless words of the Buddha we find the greatest truth of all, that every form, every sound, every thought is born of meaning, and those who observe deeply will awaken to the currents beneath life's surface. This month, the cosmos aligns in rare harmony, and 6 sacred numbers rise to the surface. They are not chosen by chance. They are the quiet call of destiny echoing through the days ahead. Each one carries its own lesson, some of discipline, some of courage, some of release, some of stillness. Together they form a sacred rhythm, a chant of the unseen, guiding you gently yet powerfully toward balance, wisdom, and prosperity. And hidden within this sequence lies one final vibration, a bonus number, a jewel rarely revealed, whose energy magnifies blessings when approached with gratitude and purity. But before you step into their wisdom, pause here with me. Breathe deeply. Let your mind grow quiet and your heart open. For these numbers are not to be rushed or skimmed over. They are thresholds, doorways, invitations. To hear them is to listen beyond the noise of the world. To receive them is to walk with trust in a path that is both material and spiritual, a path where wealth is not only measured in coins, but in peace, clarity, and strength of soul. So I ask you this: are you ready to listen with more than your ears? Are you ready to see with more than your eyes? For these numbers are waiting, woven already into the rhythm of your days, calling you to awaken. And as we step into them together, ask yourself, am I truly ready to accept the abundance and wisdom that destiny has been whispering into my life all along? Number 14, the gentle current of transformation. Number 14 does not arrive with thunder or noise. It flows like a quiet stream beneath your steps, waiting for you to notice its presence. Sometimes it shows itself on a glowing clock at midnight, in the total of a receipt, or on a license plate flashing past you on the road. At first you dismiss it as a coincidence, a passing figure with no meaning. But when it returns again and again, when its presence becomes insistent and undeniable, something in your spirit begins to stir. The universe is whispering, pay attention, a shift is near. In Buddhist numerology, 14 carries the quiet vibration of inner transformation. It is not the storm that destroys, nor the fire that consumes, but the gentle hand of time that shapes stone into sculpture. It comes to those who have walked through trials, to souls who have known restlessness, heartbreak, and uncertainty. 14 does not arrive to dismantle, but to refine. It is the soft voice that reminds you, your pain was not wasted, your waiting was not empty, Your endurance has become wisdom. Now the current moves again, not to uproot you, but to guide you toward the next chapter of your becoming. The digits themselves hold deep symbols. 1 is the spark of creation, the fearless energy that reminds you every moment holds the possibility of a new beginning. 4 is the grounded builder, the patient architect who lays stones carefully, creating structures meant to endure through the seasons of life. When 1 and 4 stand together, they weave a sacred partnership, the dreamer and the builder, vision and discipline, spirit and form. And when we reduce 14 into its root, the number 5, the picture completes itself. It becomes the number of movement, freedom and adventure, carrying with it the restless winds of destiny. This is why 14 is never just a number. It is a bridge between who you were and who you are becoming. It teaches that transformation is not chaos, but alignment. It urges you to trust that your scars are not weights, but foundations, that your longing is not weakness, but direction, and that every experience, joyful or painful, has carved space within you for something greater to arrive. 14 asks you to honor both patience and courage, to balance the heart's vision with the discipline of steady steps, to walk bravely toward what your soul already knows is waiting. Mystics and seers across time have recognized such numbers as markers of destiny. Nostradamus often wrote of subtle signs that prepared humanity for great shifts, and Baba Vanga reminded us that numbers carry the fingerprints of fate. The Buddha himself taught that change is not to be feared, for impermanence is the very path to liberation. 14 embodies all of these truths. It is the signpost of quiet evolution, of endings that become beginnings, of transformation that flows like a river carving valleys, slowly but eternally. So the question arises like a prayer echoing within you. Will you trust the current of 14 as it carries you into renewal, or will you resist and cling to the stones of the past? For the river moves regardless, yet the choice to flow with it is yours alone. Number 8, the silent builder of prosperity. Where others chase fortune with noise, the number 8 walks with silence. Its strength is not in speed, but in patience, not in force, but in balance. Those touched by its vibration do not collapse under storms. They bend, they breathe, and they endure. 8 does not announce itself with grandeur. It works quietly in the background of life, building without haste, weaving stability from steady effort. The very shape of 8 is a lesson, a cycle without beginning or end, flowing like eternity itself. Tilt it, and it becomes infinity, the endless exchange of giving and receiving. In this, 8 reminds us that what you sow with integrity will return to you multiplied. Every act of guidance, every honest effort, every patient step becomes a seed that returns as abundance in ways unseen. This is the quiet power of 8, teaching that the richest harvest grows in silence, without haste. It is the vibration of steady cultivation, of inner work, that produces lasting outer results. Nostradamus once wrote of cycles of time, where the rise and fall of empires followed unseen laws. 8 carries this same law into our personal lives. It is the number of karmic return, where discipline and faith create prosperity that cannot be shaken. 8 reminds us that wealth without wisdom is fleeting, and power without balance is hollow. It rewards not the frantic grasping of gain, but the quiet construction of lasting abundance. Its rhythm is slow but certain, like a river carving valleys over centuries, shaping life through patient persistence. Buddhism teaches that true abundance is not gold stored in vaults, but peace held in the heart. 8 aligns with this truth, teaching us to build a fortune rooted in inner harmony. It calls us to ground our ambitions in values that nurture the soul. This is why 8 appears to those ready to build, those who understand that lasting wealth comes not from impulse, but from steady, mindful action. When you see 8 appear again and again, it is the universe speaking softly. Am I acting from fear or from trust? Is my ambition aligned with my soul or pulling me away from it? The energy of 8 waits patiently, offering its blessing only when you are ready to hold it with strength. It does not rush. It builds slowly, like a temple carved over centuries, stone by stone. This is why its power endures. It is not fleeting but eternal. 8 teaches mastery, endurance, and the sacred discipline of time. It is the number that says, wealth is not merely a destination, but the journey of becoming. Baba Vanga often spoke of quiet signs that guide the heart to readiness, and 8 is such a sign, a soft but unshakable vibration, that your moment of readiness has arrived. The question it places before you is profound. Will you build a fortune that lasts, grounded in wisdom and patience, or will you chase shadows that vanish with the wind? For 8 reminds us, true prosperity is born in stillness and blooms through the quiet architecture of time. Number 3, the creative flame. The number 3 does not demand attention, yet its presence cannot be ignored. Like a gentle flame, it lights the room without force. It is the vibration of joy, creativity, and inspiration. It belongs to those who spark laughter, who ignite ideas, who carry a radiance that others cannot explain. It is the unseen current that transforms ordinary moments into something luminous, a quiet invitation to awaken the dormant spark within. 3 calls you to remember that life is not only to be lived, but also to be created. In Buddhism, 3 holds sacred meaning. It is the 3 jewels, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Together they represent awakening, wisdom, and community, the pillars of a balanced life. Number 3 carries this same trinity within it, reminding us that creativity is never solitary. It flows when we connect, when we share, when we allow inspiration to move through us, like breath. It is the reminder that joy multiplies when expressed, and that the path to abundance is often woven through acts of heartfelt giving. Baba Vanga once spoke of hidden gifts lying within ordinary people, gifts that would change the world if released. Number 3 is the echo of that prophecy, urging you to stop waiting for perfection, to speak, to write, to create, to act. Not when it is flawless, but when it is real. 3 reminds us that every voice has power, every creation is sacred, and every small expression can ripple outward into transformation. It whispers that abundance is born when we step forward without fear, offering our light to the world. 3 does not promise sudden jackpots, but it awakens the richness already inside you. It calls for movement and expression, a song sung, a story told, a dream pursued. When your creativity flows, the universe aligns opportunities and people to support your vision. This is why 3 appears repeatedly. It is the universe's gentle nudge that your gifts are ready to manifest, that your voice is needed here and now. Nostradamus wrote of signs that reveal unseen possibilities, and 3 is such a sign. It is a vibration that reminds you life itself is an act of creation. When 3 follows you, it is as if the universe leans in to listen, offering its support and opening unseen doors. The wealth of 3 is not just in money, but in the joy of expression and the connections it creates, a richness that no possession alone can match. So when 3 begins to follow you, ask yourself, will I keep my gifts hidden, or will I release them into the world where they can light the path for others? And in that choice lies not just the answer to abundance, but to awakening itself. Number 24. The power of stillness. In a world that glorifies speed, where haste has become the rhythm of life, number 24 arrives softly, like a whisper carried on the wind, urging you to slow down. It does not demand attention with noise or grandeur. It asks only that you notice. Life is not a race to be won, but a path to be walked with awareness. True strength lies not in running faster, but in pausing long enough to hear the quiet guidance of your own heart. The vibration of 24 is a sacred call to step away from distraction and into the deep presence of now, a presence where clarity awakens, where the soul reclaims its voice, and where abundance reveals itself in silence. The power of 24 lies in its harmonious union. 2 is the number of compassion, intuition, and emotional sensitivity. 4 is the number of structure, stability, and discipline. Together, they form a bridge between heart and foundation, between insight and action. 2 brings softness and flexibility. 4 brings strength and endurance, and together they teach that true abundance is born when the heart guides the hands. 24 reminds us that life's most important movements are not hurried decisions, but mindful steps rooted in balance. Throughout history, seers have recognized the sacredness of stillness. Nostradamus spoke of cycles where humanity's greatest growth emerged after pauses of silence, when storms subsided and reflection came forth. Baba Vanga described numbers as cosmic signposts, guiding us toward deeper awareness in moments of uncertainty. In this light, 24 becomes a sign, a subtle yet powerful signal that the greatest leaps forward begin in stillness. It is the gentle encouragement to trust that the pause before action is not wasted time, but the preparation that makes action meaningful. In Buddhist teachings, stillness is not the absence of movement, but the foundation for true action. Meditation, mindful breathing, walking in silence, or simply sitting in quiet reflection. These are not acts of idleness, but of alignment. They open gateways into deeper clarity and peace. 24 carries this teaching in its very vibration, reminding us that the greatest transformation comes not through noise or haste, but through a steady presence that listens, observes, and responds. The energy of 24 calls for sacred pauses in everyday life. It asks you to create space for reflection, a quiet breath before speaking, a mindful walk at sunrise, a moment of gratitude before sleep. These small acts become practices of alignment, cultivating a state in which clarity and abundance flow naturally. They transform life into a sacred art, where each step is chosen with intention and each moment is embraced fully. When 24 appears repeatedly, it is not a coincidence. It is the universe gently reminding you to slow down, to recalibrate, and to let stillness guide your way. It is a vibration of harmony that asks, am I chasing life, or am I allowing life to arrive for me in its own perfect timing? To honor the message of 24 is to walk with awareness. It is to turn every moment into a mindful pause, to treat life itself as a sacred dance between movement and stillness. And in this dance lies the true secret of abundance, a rhythm that does not rush, but unfolds naturally when the heart and mind move together in harmony. Number 9, the sacred completion. We celebrate beginnings, but the universe also honors endings. Number 9 is the vibration of completion, the sacred art of release. It is the gentle exhale after the breath has been taken, the twilight that closes the day, not in loss, but in fulfillment. 9 arrives not to take from you, but to offer freedom, the freedom to step forward unburdened, to embrace what comes next, without the weight of what has passed. In Buddhist wisdom, impermanence is a guiding truth. All things arise, and all things pass away. 9 embodies this law, carrying the message that every ending is a preparation for a new beginning. It is the energy that reminds you release is not surrender to defeat, but an act of creation. By letting go, you clear the soil so that new seeds of purpose may take root. 9 whispers that cycles close not to break us, but to open us to greater harmony and awakening. Imagine carrying a bag filled with stones. Once, each stone was necessary, each shaped by purpose. But time moves, and those stones become heavy. 9 invites you to set that bag aside, to feel the relief of letting go, and to walk lighter toward horizons unseen. Baba Vanga spoke often of cleansing, of humanity shedding the weight of old ages to step into renewal. 9 is the intimate, personal expression of that cleansing within the soul, a sign that your own cycle is ready to transform. The energy of 9 is both gentle and profound. It teaches that strength is not found in clinging, but in release. It is courage to bow to the closing chapter, and faith that the story is not over. The Buddha's wisdom aligns here. To hold on is to deny the present. To let go is to embrace the flow of life. 9 calls you to this sacred trust. When 9 appears in your path, it is a moment for reflection. What have I carried that no longer serves me? What attachments can I release so my spirit may breathe more freely? What endings am I resisting that are quietly asking for closure? 9 transforms loss into liberation, teaching that completion itself is a blessing. 9 is not simply a number, it is a sacred rhythm of closure and renewal. It asks you to honor your journey by letting go gracefully, knowing that every ending is a doorway to deeper abundance. And in this sacred completion lies the quiet, enduring promise: what you release will return to you in a form far greater than you have imagined. The bonus number 41, the compass of stillness. Some numbers arrive with grandeur, but 41 comes softly, like a quiet breath between moments. It slips into your awareness without demand, appearing on bills, clocks, or passing signs, almost unnoticed, yet carrying a deep and profound message. Pause, return to your center. It does not roar with urgency but hums gently with the language of the cosmos, inviting you to stop, to breathe, to remember. 41 is the whisper between heartbeats, the stillness that holds meaning beyond measure. When life becomes a race, when burdens grow heavy and thoughts spiral, 41 is a gentle invitation. It does not promise to erase struggle, but reminds you that exhaustion is not failure. It is a sign, a quiet signal from the universe, to step back, breathe, and realign your inner compass. It is the stillness that restores balance before the next step forward. This number teaches that true wisdom does not come from constant striving, but from pausing long enough to connect with your deeper self. In numerology, 41 reduces to 5, the vibration of change, movement, and growth. But 41 is not about restless transformation, it asks for mindful change. It calls you to move not from haste, but from clarity, not from fear, but from trust. It teaches that the greatest journeys are guided by stillness, not noise. It asks you to slow your pace and listen deeply, for in the quiet, there is guidance, and in that guidance lies transformation. Buddhist philosophy reminds us that peace is not the absence of chaos, but the stillness within it. 41 carries this truth, offering itself as a compass, not pointing outward toward possessions or places, but inward, toward the heart. It is the quiet voice that steadies the soul and aligns action with purpose. Baba Vanga spoke often of silent signs, and 41 is such a sign, a number that arrives gently, but whose impact can shift the course of life when received with awareness. When 41 appears in your life, it is not mere coincidence, it is a sacred sign asking, will you keep carrying the weight of unrest, or will you pause to hear the quiet wisdom of your own spirit? Will you allow stillness to become your guide, and trust that in that stillness, abundance flows freely? Will you open your heart to the possibility that the greatest treasures may not be gained in the rush of action, but in the sacred calm of being still? And so the journey is complete. From the gentle transformation of 14, to the patient strength of 8, to the creative flame of 3, the balance of 24, the sacred release of 9, and the compass of 41. Together, these numbers form a sacred sequence, a map left not by chance, but by the universe itself, guiding those who are ready. Nostradamus once said that the future belongs to those who can see patterns in the present. Baba Vanga reminded us that fate whispers, never shouts, and the Buddha taught us to walk the middle path, where wisdom and balance open the gates to true abundance. These numbers are not predictions to fear, but invitations to awaken. Each one carries a question for your soul, a mirror held up to your own life. The choice is yours. Ignore them and continue as before, or embrace them and step into a new rhythm. So, as you carry these numbers in your heart, ask yourself, am I ready to live with clarity, to release the old, to create with courage, and to trust the flow of destiny? For those who are ready, the path is already open.